special episode of the Earnings All Stars because I wanted to take a deeper dive into the most spectacular charts that Warren Buffett owns in his collection of 50 companies in Berkshire Hathaway. Yes, he owns some big time earnings all stars, but some you might be surprised at what they are. And you might forget that he actually owns a few of these, but he has some big winners. So let's dive right in and see what these spectacular charts are and why they're earnings all stars. So the first stock out the gate is Visa. Did you know that Warren Buffett owns Visa? Yeah, he's owned it for a long time, actually. He bought in the third quarter of 2011. And I wanted to take a look at this chart in a deeper way because it's basically the best chart on the street. I know I talk about it every earnings season and always on the Earnings All Stars videos, but until you actually see what it's been doing, you don't really get the appreciation. So this is going back to 2009 here. They went IPO in 2008. And our charts actually only start here in 2009. But as you can see, there's green arrows everywhere. And as we continue on and on and on through the years, there's green arrows. I mean, look at this chart. Even just look at the direction. Look at how it just continues to rise. This has just been a phenomenal stock. And it's just a great chart. You have a few times here in 2018 and then in 2020 where you had that sell-off, but we're back near those highs again and no misses in not just 5 years, this is the 5-year chart, but since its 2008 IPO. I know everybody says, oh, you're jinxing it, Tracy, every time I bring this up, but it's just been a phenomenal run. Eventually they will miss, but when that'll be, I don't know. But this is in Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, and there's just nothing else to say. But let's take a look at its competitor, Mastercard. This isn't too shabby either, and yes, Warren Buffett owns this too. He bought this one before Visa in the first quarter of 2011, probably liked it enough that decided, hey, I better add Visa too. So they went IPO a little bit sooner. You can see these green arrows down at the bottom into 2006. And then our chart starts there in 2009. But so they didn't have any misses there until 2010. So they did finally miss there after a couple of years of being a public company. But then going forward, they too start stringing together all these earnings beats. Chart looks phenomenal. Then they had the one in 2014. So they've had two now since their IPO in 2006. And then continuing to rise here, just like Visa, chart looking phenomenal. And a few pullbacks, again, the 2018 one like Visa. And then you had the 2020 sell-off. Then we had the third miss, which was just last quarter. Very rare, but shares didn't miss a beat really. And now are back up near that high again. So this stock is up over 7,000% since its 2006 IPO. But again, Berkshire didn't get in until 2011. Then we're going to look at the stock you all know that he does own, Apple. And taking a look at his overall portfolio, it's now 47% of the portfolio because of the big surge over the last couple of years here, and especially last year. It's really outperforming, but he didn't buy it until the first quarter of 2016. Now, I started this chart in 2010 here at the corner and into 2011 because that's when Steve Jobs died in 2011 now. So this is going on the 10th year since his passing. But you can see with those red arrows, the company had a little bit of an adjustment period after his death when Tim Cook took over. But then after that, it's been mostly green going forward here. And then the shares started to really pick up, actually not that long after Buffett bought in there in 2016. So, Apple, it's been pretty consistent winner here on the beats. There's one miss there in 2016. And then it's been green and taking off. Now, over the last 5 years, these shares are up 430% with this big gain here in 2020. And obviously, big part of the Buffett portfolio. And will he be selling some just to rebalance? He sold about 3% of his holdings last quarter. In the third quarter, that's the only information that we have. So we'll see if he maybe lightens up the load a little bit here again. But this too, huge earnings all-stars and one of the best charts of the FANG stocks, both on the beats and where the chart is going. Then we're going to look at a stock most people don't know he owns, Stone Company. This is a Brazilian payment system, and they bought in Berkshire Hathaway in the fourth quarter of 2018, like basically right when it went IPO. And so it's been a little bit of rockiness the last couple of years, but then here in 2020, it's really taken off. And we got these new all-time highs. It's up 156% since the IPO. This is a very small holding for Berkshire. So, it's not going to make a real dent on anything else like Apple would, but still interesting that they're owning this one. Digital platforms are huge right now in finance, and this one's expanding into banking, credit. They're trying to be an integrated financial platform. So this is definitely one you should keep an eye on. And then we're going to wrap it up with RH. Yes, Berkshire Hathaway owns RH. They bought it in the third quarter of 2019, so just before the big surge last year in 2020. And this one went IPO in 2012. And you can see it started off pretty hot there, but then when you got to 2016 here, it was a little rocky. And that was when they launched RH Modern. They got a little overwhelmed by the orders. Things kind of hit the fan there with execution. But shares turned around in 2017, and so did the earnings beats. And after those two misses in 2016, it's been all green ever since. And 2020, the big year for the home furnishing companies, you can see it surging there. And multiple big beats. There were the two big green arrows there right in the middle here of the year. And so these shares up big, up 135% in the last year, and up over 1,400% over the last, since its IPO, and up 600% in the last 5 years. Now, I own this one in my own personal portfolio. I don't own any of the others, but I have been eyeing for years now Visa and Mastercard, but just haven't made the decision to pull in there like Warren Buffett has over all these years. But this chart is one to watch, as are all of these during this earnings season. So as you can see, Warren Buffett owns several just big winning earnings all-star stocks, and he buys them because they're good quality companies that have good management, that know how to manage expectations going into earnings season, with maybe the exception of Stone, because that's so new given its recent IPO. But the rest have tremendous track records, and he owns a couple other stocks that are also very fine earnings all-stars, including some of his banks. So he has a consistency and a track record of picking these types of companies. So that's why I like to take a deeper dive in to see what he owns. And you should too. And all during this earnings season, I'm going to be bringing you all of these types of earnings all-star stocks, not just the ones in Berkshire's portfolio, but the ones all of us may own, as there's a lot of great charts out there that are coming up here in January. So be sure to subscribe to our Earnings All-Stars videos. You can get all of our video content on Zacks.com/YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get it all. And I'll see you again next week with some more earnings charts.